And welcome back to another episode of the Grip It and Rip It Sports Podcast. I am your host, Danny Tops. We have Chris Stockwell back here with us.
Yo.
And we have special guest Tarrian Rodgers in here today. How's it going, sir?
How you doing, bro? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, no problem. So just for the fans out there, want to let you know, me and Tarrian met each other last year while we were coaching high school football together.
Yes, sir.
And we ran into each other recently, and I said, hey, so what do you got going on? And he said, just doing some sports stuff and enjoying life. And I said, yo, come be on the podcast.
Yes, sir.
And here he is.
And that's where I am, man.
It's great. We love to have different people on and hear their different takes and what kind of fandoms that they specifically have and also how they're associated with sports. So
for sure.
I don't know exactly how deep you want to get into all of that, but we'll start with kind of your favorite teams.
And it's not the Orioles.
It is not the
Orioles.
It is not the Orioles.
You would think it would be, but it's not.
Halloween.
A foreshadowing nugget for Halloween.
Really is.
He's just a big October fan.
Yes, I like candy corn. I'm probably the only person in the world that does. But so unfortunately, I'm a Raiders fan. Unfortunately, and I say, you know why I'm saying unfortunately.
I do know why you're saying
never
unfortunately.
Win. And
is it because you never win? It's
because we never win.
That's why
I mean, you were winning back in like the early 2000s, late 90s.
When you kind of wake up Sunday, you already know the results and you're disappointed already. You kind of
did your season? Did you feel like you had like a glimmer of hope this season when you beat the Broncos?
When Antonio Brown signed, I was like, you know what, we're gonna be something special. And then he did this whole helmet and foot stuff. I was like, you know what, we're gonna suck again. But then
they do have a glimmer of hope, man.
They do.
Even though they're 1-2, they are currently 7th in the AFC. The AFC is a mess.
I think Gruden's actually done a great job bringing some of those guys in. I know you're mad about some of the decisions he's made.
Together, even more so, bringing them together as a team.
It hurts some of the guys that you've lost on defense thus far. Losing Abrams.
Oh yeah, Abrams.
That was a killer. I forget the cornerback's name who got hurt.
Oh, he's fine though.
During that game, did he?
He came back. Yeah, he's good.
I love Darren Waller.
Oh, I love Waller.
I was big when you guys picked him up. I think
Waller's a baller.
He came from the Ravens, and Josh, he's got a crazy story too. He's come from a lot of bad drinking, drug addiction, depression, all of those things. He's kind of turned his life around, which is amazing.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Josh Jacobs too. He's going to be a star.
You know what? I wasn't high on him. I got to say he's been proving me wrong though. He's been looking like a great back so far.
Because it's always hard to take a running back. In the
you never know what you're going to get.
Round,
and the history of Alabama running backs. I feel like it was that they were, not really producing in the NFL, but I got to say, Mark Ingram's kind of had a resurgence since he's been with the Ravens thus far. Derrick Henry's been at the last 4 games of last season, and so far this year he's played well.
Kenyon Drake is actually looking pretty solid.
Kenyon Drake has been looking good.
Josh Jacobs.
T.J. Yeldon was the trash. He was
Trent Richardson. We won't even talk about him.
He'll be XFL's #1 pick, though. That's something.
Yeah, right.
Wasn't he the different league's #1 overall pick also?
Yeah, AAF. AAF. Birmingham Iron.
So he could be like a top 5 pick at 3 different NFL leagues.
Right,
that's got to be some type of record.
Yeah, it's got to be. That's something you should be remembered for.
That's special.
We're gonna remember him forever for that.
Yeah, you're damn right we will. So you got the Raiders. What else?
I'm a Laker fan.
Yay.
You're very welcome in this house. Then they're all Laker fans in here
for sure. They're gonna have a big year this year.
Couldn't agree more.
As far as college sports, I like Nevada just because I'm an alumni. So
you went to UNR?
I went to UNR.
What year did you go up there? What years were you there?
From 05 to 09.
Okay, I was my freshman. I only went there for 1 year. I went there. I was there fall of 09 was my 1 year there. Fall 09, spring 10 was the year that I was there.
Okay,
so that's pretty cool.
Yep,
a lot of good stories.
We went to the same school.
A lot of good stories.
So I gotta say, I'll bring this up. I went to UNR one time. I was driving up to Oregon when I was changing schools to go play ball, and I stopped in Reno because I had a buddy that was living there at the time, and my God, did I have an absolute blast.
Did you remember? Do you remember any of it?
Not much. I remember going to some Chinese restaurant like 3:30 in the morning and getting some beef fried rice.
Did you end up at Archie's at any point?
I couldn't tell you a name of the single bar that we went to. I just know we went to like
Archie's,
9.
Probably Archie's.
We were on campus.
Or we went Wolfed In.
Yeah, one of those two.
We went to a bar that's right across the street from the stadium. So we were watching the game pretty much from the bar.
It probably was the Wolf.
It's the Wolf Den.
They had a deal where you did buy one burger, get a second burger for a penny.
Yeah, the penny burger.
And the burger that I got had peanut butter on it. How weird is that?
That is
It was
extremely
so
weird.
bomb. So bummed.
But that led us on to a night of debauchery, and we bar hopped until 3:30 in the morning. Like I said, we went to some Asian garden.
That's every
restaurant.
Reno story, bro. Like it's always gonna end in some type of hangover situation.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up on a roof or something.
Either that, or you end up smoking weed in the Highlands.
Yep.
Woke up at 8:30 the next morning and continued my drive to Oregon.
Face first on Argentina, all on like something.
You heard that the Argentina blew up.
It blew up, bro, because people can't cook.
It's the new.
So
dorm.
you're saying the cafe food was not
So they're saying there's a number of things that led to it. They said it was like chemical reactions and it burnt up. They said somebody couldn't cook. They didn't get a real full story of it, but I know people can't cook.
But this is like the brand new dorm that was like,
yeah, dude.
It's like first or second year was the year that I was up there. It was like the first year that it was there. So it's only 9 years old.
Didn't they say
like exploded?
A shit ton of people would have died if like it was during
school was in session. Very many people.
It was like 4th of July weekend is when it really would have happened. So
nobody was
there.
That's big time.
But then they send me like, can you donate all the time? Like, hell no, I ain't donating shit.
Dude, I finalized my degree from what do they call it? A degree mill school or whatever. And even they call me asking for money. Like, yo, are you guys even a real university? Like, yeah, I know you're accredited and whatnot, and I appreciate you giving me a degree. But
it's like, man, I'm still paying back from going here.
Yeah,
I can't give you anything.
You're not
you guys maybe paid $9,000 to
Right.
fast track my degree because I had been to so many places and had so many credits.
It's like, do you want to be a part of the alumni association with old people and build floats with them? Hell no, I don't.
No, I had to do that when I was pledging.
Right, build floats with old people.
I'm good.
Like, I ain't trying to build no float with no old person. Like,
But so did you play any sports growing up?
I ran track for Silverado.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you know
we
a lot
went
of
to
the
Silverado together,
guys.
and it pissed me off. Ostalaza beat us, by the way.
I know he did.
Plug. Yeah.
Well, we shouldn't have been playing
Yeah.
Silverado in the first place, but
That's
I try to stay
there.
out of the high school scene.
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
neither here or there. But yeah, I played basketball. I ran track. That's about it. Yeah.
Silverado days.
Yeah.
When they were
Sky or die.
good.
Yeah.
Are they no good anymore?
Football wise, I would say that Ostalaza has the team on the up and up since Cunningham's been gone.
Who is the
He was like
coach?
So back in the day, when JD would have been playing and when you would have been playing, Silverado was pretty good. You know, they were kind of a powerhouse in Las Vegas, and that was when Ostalaza was the coach.
Right.
He left, Randall Cunningham took over, and Cunningham really ran that program into the ground. A lot of stories that I don't want to get into on air about some of the stuff that he did there.
Shut this off then.
Right. And then he left, and they gave it back to Ostalaza because he didn't want to coach anymore. It wasn't like they gave it to Cunningham.
It wasn't like they were just like, oh, we're going to bring in Randall Cunningham.
Yeah.
Like he was out, and then they brought him in.
Right.
Exactly. Because Cunningham's kid was going to the school.
He got the itch.
But
then he transferred to Gorman, didn't he?
I think this would excite
like
you.
that,
I
so.
think this would excite you though. Their basketball team's gonna be nice. They got Marcus Pfizer's son over there now.
Do they really?
Yeah, that'll
Pfizer
excite
former
you.
from the
Bull.
Bulls.
Yeah, bro. I knew that would excite
Fourth,
you. They're
what
gonna
was
be
it?
so dirty.
Fourth overall pick that
Yeah,
in
Something
his
like
draft?
that, dude. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember playing with him in like 2K on the Dreamcast.
I'm praying.
Bald head.
Oh, dude, the Dreamcast, the Sega Dreamcast, the old 2Ks.
I'm kind of praying he
Good old
coaches them.
days.
I'm kind of praying he coaches them because if he coaches them, that'd be savage. But yeah,
I mean, hopefully he coaches them better than he played.
He was a bust.
He's a 6'7" freshman, so he's the kid's
Is
massive.
he really?
Yeah, that kid's massive.
I mean, I went to Liberty though afterwards.
Yeah.
Right? I moved back to Chicago. I came back and I went to Liberty.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
just making sure that I have no allegiance or
To Silverado.
Skycock.
You know what's crazy is I had never ever heard about the Liberty hype or anything, but from talking with you and a couple of your friends, like apparently you guys were like relevant.
You guys have corn-fed Samoans.
Whoa.
No, I'm not saying it bad. Like it glossed over my head that like Liberty was actually like
I mean, we have a top 50. We play it. I don't want to say we because I don't have an affiliation there anymore. But they have a top 50 schedule nowadays.
Not donating.
No, not donating any money.
They've been top 3 in the States since we graduated.
Have they?
Top 2.
Yeah.
They're number 2. They just can't beat Gorman. They beat everybody. There's nobody in the state that can beat Liberty other than Gorman, and Gorman beats Liberty every year. But Liberty goes to Hawaii every year now. They go to Texas. They go to California, Utah. They play all the top 50 schools. So they always have a really tough schedule. So, yeah, they're a perennial team in Vegas. I mean, it is what it is.
Gotcha. Yeah, no.
But so yeah, let's get into some NFL, baby. We got a little bit of football talk going.
Yes,
so
sir.
NFL week. I'm sorry, I wrote the wrong thing up there. It is week 3, not week 2. I'm a dumbass, but
No, we were deep into conversation
indeed.
too. So
So week 3 week recap. We called it, or we dubbed it, the rise of the backup quarterback. So we had a lot of backups playing this week. So on the board we have Daniel Jones, Mason Rudolph, Kyle Allen, Gardner Minshew, Teddy Bridgewater, and Josh Rosen all played this weekend.
So is Gardner Minshew not the guy from Dodgeball? Is
Dwight Gooden?
Is he not Dwight Gooden?
I mean,
Or is he
Goodman? Right, Goodman.
Or is he not Uncle Rico?
He's both.
I think
he's all of them.
He's a mixture of both.
Like, he's what Baker Mayfield wishes he was.
Okay, I just want to.
You know?
I got to say, I agree with that. I feel like I'd like to party with Gardner Minshew. I feel like Baker would just be a dick the whole time.
Just enjoy the.
He would just be angry.
Enjoy the ride while he's rising, because it's fun to watch.
It really is.
Gardner Minshew, Johnny Manziel, like sign me up for that party.
Oh.
Yeah. Is Josh Gordon on the guest list?
Josh Gordon definitely bringing something to the party.
Maybe we can invite Darren Waller back and see how he's doing. No, I'm just kidding. There's a great meme. It's Gardner Minshew once completed 11 out of 10 passes on only 9 throws. It's awesome.
So he's Chuck Norris now. Like that's.
I think that's like the peak. That's that's what he is like ultimately trying to be. Is like Chuck Norris.
He's
like the Chuck Norris's son or something like that.
I gotta respect his brand, man. He got his shot. He knew his shot was coming because of the injury, and he has taken full advantage of it. He brought out the porn stash. They brought out the jock strap stretching routine. The old pictures. The dude he pulled an Alex Moran. He tried to break his hand so that he can get a red shirt year when he was at. Where did he go before Washington State? Or was it at Washington State?
I think it was at Washington State.
Just like, this guy is awesome.
It was
JUCO. Okay. And then it was another school after that.
And I will say, out of all 6 of those backup quarterbacks that have played, I think Minshew has probably been the best.
Well, he's definitely won that job over. Even if Nick Foles comes back off the IR designation, even if Minshew plays bad a game or two, like I don't know that they're going to give him his job away. Give the job away. I think that he's pretty much solidified himself in that role as a starter for the Jags.
I would say so. I
would
think
say so too.
I mean, the throws that he was making. If you watch the Thursday night game versus the Titans, I mean, he was making all the throws, and they were good throws. It wasn't like he was just throwing the ball up and the receivers making plays. Like he was putting those balls, he was throwing receivers open, and he was putting the balls exactly where they needed to be caught.
We talk about that, and he's throwing the ball with no fear. That's something that I really look at with the quarterback, especially one that's just kind of getting their feet wet. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing that with Daniel Jones. We're seeing that with Gardner Minshew. And I also, for how bad the second half went, I did see Josh Rosen throwing the ball with no fear early on as well. Yeah, and that like kind of surprised me because he did get hurt a little bit. Not a fan of Rosen personally, but I think that there's something to build on based off of the first half of that game.
I'd agree with that.
I would agree with that too. Yeah.
What about you? Outside of Gardner Minshew, who do you think on the board had the best week?
Kyle Allen, and I'm kind of scared for Cam Newton's job when he comes back. Because there's a lot of throws that he made on the run that Cam Newton would have just took off and ran, where Kyle Allen's a little bit more patient in the pocket and he locates the ball and he throws it. So he actually puts him in a better position because there's a lot of RPO on the Carolina Panthers offense when Cam Newton's on the field.
Yeah,
that's true. With Kyle Allen, he's going to throw the ball a little bit more because he's more of a pocket passer. So
yeah, and it's something that we talked about last week where I think Chris would attest to this as well. We think that Cam's shoulder is gone.
I think Cam's done, man.
Yeah.
He'll still he'll hang around the league a couple more
He should
years.
go play like tight end or something.
I think that he's already peaked.
Yeah, and a lot of the throws he was making in the Tampa Bay Buccaneer game, he was missing wide.
It was bad.
Low. It was really bad. And then essentially with him in the game, you put 8 in the box, and then Christian McCaffrey, he's not as effective.
Yeah, exactly. Now, glad to say that Daniel Jones had a good game though.
I love Daniel Jones.
I mean,
I love me some Daniel motherfucking Jones.
Fans
Danny
go back,
Dimes.
Danny Dimes. Fans go back to like episode 2, back to the NFL draft days when we were still, just me and Chris. We didn't even have guests at that time. We said it. We said Daniel Jones. I'm fine with them making that pick. I think he was the best quarterback coming out of the draft. He played at Duke. Duke didn't have weapons, and he led them to like an 8-5 season, whatever it was. Like, I thought Daniel Jones was good. I know you thought Daniel Jones was good.
Yeah, well,
he looked pretty fucking good on Sunday,
and it made sense for the Giants to pick him because his coach at Duke was Cutcliffe.
Yep.
He coached both the Mannings and Manning camp guy. So he makes sense. And like I was saying before with Cam Newton, he can make throws outside of the pocket as well. Mm-hmm. Where Eli Manning, you look at him throwing the ball, he's gonna get sacked.
Yeah.
And Daniel Jones able to escape the pocket and extend plays.
And he won that game without Saquon.
Yeah.
Think about that. I mean, I know it was versus Tampa Bay,
right?
Which isn't like, oh my God, he beat Tampa Bay, but with no Saquon back there, and let's not, no offense to Evan Ingram, but they don't have that many weapons,
exactly,
in New York.
Sterling Shepard, that's about it.
I mean, he had a great game.
Yeah.
Did you guys?
And then that's the game-winning touchdown. By the way, you think Eli Manning makes that play? The run.
No.
He would
No shit.
tear everything in his body.
Yeah,
I made
he would be some icy hot.
I made a
right?
trolling post to the people that don't think that running backs in the top 5 are valuable commodities, saying that Daniel Jones has showed exactly why you do not draft a quarterback or a running back in the top 5. I don't necessarily believe that. I was just like
You just like to troll
I was
people?
I was just like trolling to see what kind of reactions I would get. But yeah, he led the team in rushing.
I mean,
It's
we've
kinda
been
wild.
real good on the Twitter account with the trolls so far. We've been upsetting some people. I loved it. I got into an argument with an
Twitter
Astros fan the other day, and it was great. I was having so much fun.
Now, did you guys see Teddy Bridgewater's acceptance speech after winning the player or getting player of the game for that?
I didn't.
He had one?
Yeah, it was pretty. It was like a heartfelt, like it was like
I mean, it had to be
it's
a big moment for the
big
guy.
stage for him to come back. You know,
His story is amazing, though. Like,
Yeah.
tearing his ACL.
He almost lost his
PCL.
leg. That's how bad his injury
it's a
was.
huge comeback, and that you got to be happy for the guy. But let's not act like he's me personally. I'm not going to sit here and act like he's a starting caliber quarterback.
I didn't think it was that great of a game
He
by
was,
any means.
He was literally checked down Teddy.
He was game
all-
game
yeah,
managing
all game
the
long.
hell.
Now, hey, look, he did what he needed to do. They won the game. They blew the doors off them. But I think that Dallas this week is going to make
at
him come back down.
At the
to
same time, when
earth a
Sean
little.
Yes.
Payton calls your back Taysom Hill Steve Young, it's like, okay,
Not much faith there, huh?
right? He calls you Steve Young.
I mean, he did
It doesn't
exactly
get higher
what
than that.
a good backup quarterback needs to do. Rely on your weapons. He got the ball into Kamara's hands.
Right.
He got in the ball to Michael Thomas's hands. Whether it was a check down, whether it was just a swing pass, a
3-yard
3-yard
hook,
cross,
a 3-yard hitch.
He did what he needed to do. He controlled the game. He managed the game, and
But
they
they
ended
were
up
never
winning,
really in jeopardy of losing that game either.
which is surprising because I was expecting a lot more from the Seahawks. I did not.
Who's
you
that
know.
MR up there?
That would be Mason Rudolph.
Who did absolutely squat.
How many
Fucking-
did he have a bunch of turnovers? How many?
No,
Turnovers?
that would be Jimmy Garoppolo. We'll get to him.
Really, what happened was that one play, the Juju. That's what his ranking
It was 76-yard
And that was it.
touchdown
Yeah,
to
that
Juju,
was-
and
that
that
was
was.
it.
I think outside of that, I saw a stat that he was like 1 for 15
Yeah,
on
he
passes
was-
beyond 2 yards.
absolutely trash.
Something like that. It
Yeah.
was a horrendous
Absolutely
game.
trash. Yeah.
But what does that speak more volumes to? The talent of the 49ers or the talent of the Pittsburgh Steelers? That was a close game.
I think it's 49ers thing, to be honest with you.
So you think the 49ers aren't as good as their record
No,
indicates?
I really don't think so. I think that they're a strong run team, but outside of the run game, I don't see anything else. Their defense is solid, but outside of that, Jimmy Garoppolo is not the answer to me. I'm sorry. He's a pretty boy, but he throws too many interceptions,
Now-
too many turnovers, and he's hurt all the time.
Is this
He wins.
who would be considered the rival to the Niners? It's the Raiders, right? Across the bay.
I mean,
Has
there's a
nothing to do with
couple.
that,
There's any of
I mean, the
three
Cowboys
teams-
have
any of
always been a
any of
big
the three
rival,
teams in the
but
divisions,
Yeah.
the Cowboys, and I guess the Raiders,
I mean, I would say Raiders and Seahawks.
Raiders and Seahawks,
right.
And,
So
and
is
then
that
and
coming
then
from
Dallas legacy wise?
is that coming from a place of your homerism of
No.
being a Raiders fan, or
It's coming from the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo, yes, he wins, but when is he ever healthy, and is he worth 120 million or however much he's getting?
I've said for a long time that
Is
he's
he
not
worth
worth
that?
that money.
Right. So what is his sample size? Because he was on the
It's
Patriots.
not big
Because he's
I
on
mean,
the Patriots.
he-
Everyone
like,
was on the Patriots.
JD, the producer, will constantly tell you that he's 11-1 now since he's been with.
You know who else was good on the
Niners.
Patriots, JD? Matt Castle. Where's Matt Castle?
And he got paid too.
he got it,
And he got a playoff appearance.
But-
I mean, you want to also, if we're going to keep it objective, there was 3 quarterbacks on the Patriots 2 years ago. Those fools are combined 8-1 in the league right now.
Yeah, I mean Jacoby Brissett's balling.
Brian Hoyer was where's
Brian Hoyer is one of the greatest
He's still got a
backup
job.
quarterbacks
he's,
of all
he's
time.
This generation or this era's Gus Frerotte.
That's a great
That's
comparison.
a good comparison.
That is a
I
great
see
comparison.
That. I see
Thank
that. You've been doing your homework, bro.
But I mean, Garoppolo, 2 picks, 2 fumbles, 1 lost. I mean,
I'm saying
not a good
So-
game versus a good defense, which is what I've been saying that they haven't been playing.
And what
great
is his knee
defenses.
situation looking like?
I mean, I think the knee's fine.
I mean, he's always hurt though. I feel like I've played more career games than Jimmy Garoppolo.
we'll see what happens. I mean, let's talk again in week 10 and see if Garoppolo's
we'll
still
see.
playing.
If he's still
We'll see.
playing,
Yeah,
or
he's still
are we
playing.
gonna get your boy out here?
Dude, bring out Mullins, baby. It's
He
time.
loves Nick Mullins.
I'm a big Nick Mullins guy.
All right, so let's just flip over to the other side of that game. Do you guys think that Pittsburgh's done?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, why? I'll take the opposite end just for argument's sake.
Okay, you go. You're a guest.
Okay, so the reason why I think that they're done, the killer bees are gone. They're never going to come back. They're going to have a hard time finding a quarterback, and they just traded their first-round pick for Minka. So it's how are you going to get a quarterback? Because I don't think Mason Rudolph is the answer. Essentially, Juju, he's shown that he can be a number one receiver, but I don't particularly think
life's different when you don't have
Antonio Brown.
It's a much
taking
easier
double
game
coverage
when you're the
away.
number 2 and
Right.
Antonio Brown's
And
drawing double teams all
James
game.
Conner hasn't done absolutely anything.
That's
this year.
another situation where
He fumbles a
when
lot.
you're no longer worried about the top being taken
and
off.
the Steelers' defense used to be the most intimidating thing in the world, and it's no longer as intimidating as it once was. Devin Bush is going to be a baller. T.J. Watt's
I like
going to be
Devin
a baller.
Bush. They got some great pieces on
They
defense.
got great pieces, but they're just not all together yet, right?
They're
And-
young. I think the Steelers. So I'll work off what you said. I agree.
Right.
I think all the problems that you stated on offense are legitimate problems that they're going to have to face. I said last week. I think trading that pick for Minka was an interesting decision. You're trading a guy that was drafted in the first round the year before for a first round pick. So you're essentially just trading. It's a first round pick for you. That's what it was. They were putting their eggs in the Mason Rudolph basket. If you just base it off the sample size of that Niners game, that ain't the future.
Right.
But, I mean, we'll see what happens. He's going to play most of the season because Roethlisberger's out, so he's going to have to play much worse to have somebody come in over him.
Ben's done for the year, and
Yeah.
they traded Josh Dobbs. So
So you're gonna
through hell and high water. He's
It's
going to
him.
play every single game unless he gets hurt. Yeah,
You're going to see
Exactly.
exactly what you have there. I think those pieces on defense, they're young. T.J. Watt, this is his second year. Devin Bush, first year. Minka Fitzpatrick, second year. They got a great player at every level that is possible, could be all pro at some
Right.
point in their career,
And
which is great to build off.
And they still got a guy that they know can play corner. And if you know the Steelers' struggles drafting in the secondary
Right.
recently, they have
Yeah.
not done well.
No.
They've
Artie
blown up.
Burns.
And the other guy, they've Tremaine Edmonds' brother. Right?
Oh, yeah, Terrell Edmonds.
Yeah.
Oh, he was bad.
Yeah.
From Virginia Tech, I believe.
Yep.
Now, I will say this with Pittsburgh, when you take a look around the AFC, like I touched on earlier, it is very weak. They're 0-3, but they're not out of the division.
Yeah,
Or they're not out of the division. They're not out of the wild card.
I think they're out of the division. I don't think they're out of the wild card.
When Pittsburgh has routinely beat all of the teams in their division, so they're looking around. They've got 5 of their next 6 games are at home. The one game that's on the road is at the Charger Stadium, which is going to be over it's
a home
essentially
game.
a home game. So essentially, their next 6 games are all going to be like a favorable environment.
Yeah.
Right.
The AFC's horrible. They feel they can beat their teams. Them acquiring Nick Vannett also this week.
I've seen
the
that.
tight end
Yeah,
for
the
a
tight end.
5th-round pick. It kind of makes me think that they're not.
They think they're still competing.
Yeah, they're thinking they
Well,
can still win. You've
they-
got.
I mean, they
you've
should
got
have won that
Isn't
game.
Vince Donald's shoulder hurt though?
Yeah, so they need they took
And
around, they
Vanette's
look
a
around.
blocking tight end.
Yeah, but he's gonna have to catch the ball. But what I'm getting at is that last year the Colts,
Right.
1-5, they made the playoffs. The Texans 0-3. Last year they won their division. The Steelers are not out of this, and I think that they have the culture and the locker room and the head coach that could drive this thing to a 9-7 wild card.
So my question for the coaching thing though is, do you think Mike Tomlin's going to coach desperate now, because his job could be on the line?
Yeah, well, he's not. I don't think he's going to send it in like just
Yeah,
coach
he's-
desperately. They might. They're going to have to make life easy for Rudolph for sure.
They really
They
are.
really do.
You know,
That
like
offense
those things
has
that
to be
The
simplified.
things that we talk about needing to do with quarterbacks to get them into a rhythm, like they need to focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to find somebody else. We're calling on James Washington. We're calling on
Yeah.
Connor.
Ryan Switzer.
Ryan.
They
Who's
need
going to
somebody
step
to
up
be
to
that
make
number 2
plays?
guy.
Who's going to step up to make plays to make them like to give them just a little bit of
And
threat to run the
I think
ball?
it has a potential to be James Washington, because him and Rudolph played together in college. But how much time is he getting in the pocket? Steelers' offensive line has never been good.
They can't.
They have never been
And he's
good.
not Big Ben where he could just
And
bounce
Ben
off
could
like a
extend plays.
pinball.
Yeah, Ben could extend plays. Mason Rudolph is not extending any kind of plays. So that's why I think they're done.
Yeah, no. If I had to put my money on it, I would say so as well. But I see them still. They're gearing up to try to make a run right now.
I mean, I think a lot of people thought the AFC North was going to be tougher than it is, and I think that I would say that we were fairly correct in predicting that the AFC North wasn't going to be as good as a lot of people thought it was going to be, which is something we're going to get to here in a second. But you brought up the Chargers, being that they're going to be playing a home game for the Steelers. Big news for the Chargers. Melvin Gordon just officially announced that he'll be coming back. He's ending the holdout. Do you think that helps the Chargers? Because the Chargers have always been that one team where it seems like they don't have an identity. They want to be one of the top teams in the league, and then they go and lose to
They
the Lions.
constantly put up the numbers to be the top team in the league,
Yeah.
but then they collapse.
I think the Chargers' problem goes far beyond playing. I think I would question their trainer, because they always get hurt. They have the worst history with injuries. If you really look it up, Derwin James this year.
That's a killer.
That's
I
a
love
big one.
Derwin James last year.
Bosa is never healthy. He's always hurt. Over the years,
those are both cases that are stemming back from college as well. So I don't know if it's a decision making process from the scouting department and the GM picking their players and flying
risky players,
taking flyers on guys with injury history.
The tight end though, even their tight end.
Hunter Henry can't stay healthy.
That's what I'm saying, and I don't know if it's more of a football thing, but. They have the worst of luck, like kickers. They always
they
lose
couldn't
games.
find a fucking kicker.
They can't find a kicker, and then when they find a kicker, they can't injuries. Like they can't stay healthy. So it's not that they're a bad team. It's just bad luck happens to them.
Do you think any of this falls on Phillip Rivers?
No.
Do you think that he's not a good leader?
No, I think Phillip Rivers for so many. See, the thing, my thing about Phillip Rivers is he should be a Super Bowl quarterback. But to me, they never paid any of his players. They never paid Vincent Jackson. They didn't pay LaDainian Tomlinson.
They didn't even pay
Michael Bennett,
the dude that's on the Raiders now.
Right, Terrell
He's
Williams.
he's blowing
Yeah,
up.
they
didn't even pay him. And he's the only guy that showed up every year when Keenan Allen.
Remember how much shit I got for taking him in the dynasty draft last year?
Well,
everyone was making fun of my ass because I said Tyrell Williams was a fucking baller, and no one believed me.
And it's a revolving door for him, and then injuries on top of that with offensive line injuries on top of injuries every offseason that are bad. Jason Verrett was another guy that always got hurt.
Yeah,
so
corner.
Always got hurt. So I don't know if it's something with their management or training staff, but I think Chargers problems go way beyond the field to me.
That's a great point, and I think that
even with their coaching decisions and all like the fallout with firing Schottenheimer,
I think Schottenheimer needed to go though. It was his time.
Yeah, but if you ask
the game that they fired him on, though, wasn't his fault though.
Yeah, and
it's true.
And I don't think that it was actually warranted. I really don't.
14-2.
And then the Chargers game, he got fired.
Yeah, and what was his playoff record?
He got fired after the New England game, and that was a terrible call. And the referee made a good call for New England that went against the Chargers. I don't remember what the call particularly was, but it was another one of those. Oh my God, the Patriots are cheating again.
Patriots got another call.
Yeah.
Right, it was one of those.
I think that there'd be one simple solution to all the Chargers' problems, and that would have been if they would have brought the damn team to Las Vegas.
Yes.
I think that would have ended all their problems right there.
Who's their owner though? It's Spanos. Spanos is an idiot, kind of.
He is.
I mean,
I think it starts at the top, right?
It stops at the top. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe he's one of those guys.
It's a trickle down effect.
It is a trickle down
talk
effect
about
there.
as being one of the worst
owners. It's a trickle down effect.
He would definitely be up there. I mean,
he's cheap. He doesn't like spending money. And
in what world do you decide to move your franchise to another city where another team is moving their franchise, but that team's going to go play at the Coliseum while you're going to go play at the fucking soccer stadium
where you can't even fill it?
With your own fans.
They didn't like you then. They don't like you now, right? Like
the San Diego fans love the Chargers.
He's just not locked into what it takes to drive interest and to get people in the seats or to put players on the field to win.
He partnered with Mark Davis for a little bit with the Vegas situation, and then he kind of had his feelings hurt a little bit and left because I think Mark Davis had a meeting without including him, and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go with Kroenke.
Well, how many years did they ask for a new stadium in San Diego?
Like 30.
Because Qualcomm is a dump.
Yeah, and they
didn't stay classy.
And they never did. And they never did.
Stay classy. Yeah, so this is my favorite segment of the day when we get to talk about the Bears.
Fuck yeah, baby. You just got to give me like 5 minutes of unfiltered Bears talk. That's all I ask. It's not much. This isn't even necessarily Bears talk. This is Matt Nagy talk.
It's Bears talk.
I mean, it has Bears players involved, but it's more comedy than it is about football. So the Bears, they won Monday night.
Yep.
Big win. Offense finally did something. Defense is by far the best defense in the NFL. I'll argue that with anybody. But post-game, they do a thing called Club Dub, right? All the guys go to the locker room.
What is Club Dub, Dan?
All the guys go to the locker room. They put some disco balls out. Some guys that get jiggy with it.
Do they really? That's a real thing?
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Road and away. Like
road and away. Yep.
I can't see Khalil Mack's big ass dancing, bro.
Oh, he dances. He gets down. All like 240 pounds of him. But yeah, so
I mean,
Tariq Cohen.
It was the Redskins, so let's not get all excited. You had to bring me back down. Well, no,
I
wasn't flying off the earth last week.
But
I need to just bring you back down to earth.
100% agree with what you're saying. I'm happy the offense finally got some stuff going. Trubisky finally looked good for the most part. There's a lot of problems. I don't want to go over them because we could spend too much time. I got to have a Bears podcast myself. But it was the Redskins. Take it with a grain of salt. But at least it was a primetime game, and they came out and they played a good game. I'll take it for what it is.
Right.
But so after the game, Tariq Cohen live streams from Instagram, I believe it was,
no.
in the locker room.
He Antonio
Clubbed up.
Brown.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to call it Antonio
They were
Brown.
celebrating. I think Antonio Brown did it when they were like getting
Giving a
bitched
coat.
at and they were
Yeah.
lost,
Yeah.
you know. So this is a little bit different of a
okay.
It's
situation.
a little bit different, as in he didn't realize that Kyle Long's 6'6", 315-pound ass was bare fucking naked, and in the background his dick was just swinging in the wind. Just swinging. So
Gotta love those Bears, baby.
So Nagy was a little upset about that. He came out today.
He was peeved.
He was peeved, saying that this is something that was a mistake, something that we'll learn from, and it won't happen again. I'm really just hoping they use that as like a momentum getter. Like, yo, let's hop on to Kyle Long's dick and let's just ride that momentum. But I will say one thing that I really loved that I seen today was Nagy on the sideline telling Trubisky to shut the fuck up. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet.
No, I didn't. What I was curious to have you explain what was that regarding.
So what I think what happened was it was at a point in the game in the second quarter before we scored the first offensive touchdown where Trubisky didn't like a play call or something like that came in from Nagy. He was going over during a timeout to go and talk to him about it, and I think he was saying something about, I didn't like the play call, and Nagy told him, listen, shut the fuck up right now. I got your back. Let's go do this thing. And I liked seeing that. Like, I like the head coach taking that stand with the young quarterback, telling him, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to put you in the right position. Listen to me. I got this. And I got your back.
You think Matt Nagy would have done that to Tom Brady?
Fuck no.
Okay.
I don't think Bill Belichick would do that to Tom Brady.
Bill O'Brien did.
Bill O'Brien did.
Or would,
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I was just curious about I wanted to just check the temperature.
No, I think if you got a quarterback that wins 6 Super Bowls, he could say whatever the hell he wants to you and you don't reply.
But see, that's my problem with the Bears, though. Do you think that they hold his hand too much then as a quarterback?
I think they have, yeah. I think they need to let him go a little bit.
Right, and that becomes a problem.
But I'm fine with the I'm fine with the coach getting in the quarterback's face a little bit and letting him know that this is what we need to do. Stop bitching. Go out there and do it.
But he plays like he's pressed.
But he should already know that.
Right. He plays like he's scared. He does.
I'm not denying any of these things. I think he didn't play as scared this week. I thought he played a pretty decent game.
Was that in the Monday night game? That was in the Monday night game?
It came out afterwards.
They just caught him on the sideline.
So apparently Ty Lue did it to LeBron as well. How long did that go over for Ty Lue? Where's he coaching now?
Oh, yeah, he's
the assistant coach
Clippers.
of the Clippers.
Yeah, he's
the
assistant.
You don't tell LeBron to shut the fuck up either.
Yeah.
They brought him in solely because of the cross locker room rivalry. They wanted some insight into the LeBron
Right.
psyche.
Yeah, you're probably right.
His name was LeBron's manager. That was like that he didn't have
That
a
was
job.
his title.
That's why the Lakers wanted him. Just can you manage LeBron? Just don't coach him. Just coach LeBron. Yeah.
But talking about personalities, talking to star players, I
love him.
Guessing people would consider Baker Mayfield a star. He hasn't earned that moniker yet, but with the amount of commercials he has coming out and promotions and that he does in marketing, I guess you can consider them that. And Rex Ryan, one of our favorite coaches, came out today, or it wasn't today, it was a couple days ago, and said
This is Baker Mayfield. I know he's overrated as hell. That's what he said. That was quote unquote.
And then, Baker Mayfield has responded.
You want me to read that to you?
Yeah, please read that quote for the fans at home.
It's whatever. In the wise words of Freddie Kitchens, if you do not wear orange and brown, that's orange and
That's
black.
black.
Yeah.
Halloween.
If you do not wear orange and brown, you do not matter. And Rex Ryan does not have any colors right now for any reason, so it's okay.
Burn.
Face.
Is it a face? Because I'm pretty sure Rex Ryan could have a job if he wanted one.
No.
He's got a job with ESPN.
No.
Yeah, it's ESPN.
Yeah,
Rex Ryan
I think
is
he
overrated.
likes his job with ESPN.
Rex Ryan is overrated as hell. Can we? He talks shit about beating the Patriots every year and hardly ever beating the Patriots.
It's entirely
he went
possible.
to 2 AFC championship
and
games
honestly,
in a row.
you can't say shit about quarterbacks when you drafted Mark Sanchez.
He
brought him to 2 AFC championships in a row.
2 AFC championships.
Okay, but then since then, what it was off of the strength of a defense. He didn't really do much of anything. He had Tyrod Taylor as his quarterback.
He wants to jump in. Let's let
Rex
the
Ryan
producer.
also got a Jets quarterback number 6 tattooed on his body after that draft.
Okay, yeah, right.
The producer said
You thought-
Rex
you
Ryan
thought-
also got
you
Mark
thought-
Sanchez's number tatted on
Right,
him.
you thought
That's
Tyrod
belief in
Taylor
your quarterback.
was a good idea. There was a lot of good idea quarterbacks. He thought.
Well, that was a different situation where they needed to find someone, and I felt like
Right, but
Tyrod was an appropriate fit at that point in time.
He's never had an established quarterback to call a quarterback overrated, though.
So
Can
you
really
miss
call-
you miss on the one top 3 pick that you get, and then he didn't have any other opportunities to really have one. I don't know that we can hold that.
He's
Totally
not the
against
quarterback.
I
soothsayer.
can't.
I think that it's totally plausible that they're both overrated as hell.
Oh, I'm not saying it.
That's totally.
I'm not saying he was correct or not. Yeah. I'm just saying that's the wrong person to call somebody overrated because he was an overrated coach and he couldn't develop quarterbacks. So it's like.
I mean, it's not always
better career so far than Baker.
I was gonna say it's not.
Maybe.
It's
Baker's
not always
only
the head
for a year though.
It's not always the head coach's job to develop a quarterback. He's a defensive-minded. No, I'm sorry. It's not always the head coach's job to develop a quarterback. He's a defensive-minded head coach. So
that could have.
Does he have a winning record or a losing record as a coach?
Overall,
yes,
it's a losing record. At it, I'm not sure.
It's a losing record. He has more losses than wins.
He still went to 2 AFC Championship games back to back with Mark Sanchez. That is more of a pedigree than Baker Mayfield has at this point.
And that's true, but
Baker Mayfield is 1-8
career
teams above 500.
Career 65-68, including the playoffs.
I mean,
it's 500.
So is that not overrated? All the shit he talked over.
How many playoff appearances?
He's 4-2 in the playoffs.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. How many Jets predicted Super Bowls did he go to?
If I had a coach come in, I want him to predict Super Bowls too. We could use that argument for anything. LeBron James said that they were going to win 6.
He was
8,
and that's
12.
True.
They won fucking 2.
But I'm saying, are you really able to call me overrated when you predicted Super Bowls every year and didn't do shit?
I mean, I would like my guy to predict Super Bowls.
That's your goal.
Yeah.
Except for the Dolphins. and maybe the Redskins, like your goal is to win the Super Bowl. So I think that to predict it is just one baby notch further than that being the end goal.
If you're a toe sucker, you can't say shit about me. If you're a toe sucker, he loves toes. If you're a toe sucker, you're not.
Hey, my favorite director has a toe fetish.
He's a toe sucker, so you're not going to sit here.
I hate feet, but
you're not going to.
I'm dismissing that right out the gate.
And like I said, that's not even my stance at all. But I'm just saying he's the wrong person to call anybody overrated.
I think he's got more pedigree. I think he can say somebody's overrated. Now, is he overrated? Maybe, but somebody that's been to the playoffs, somebody that's made it to an AFC Championship game, somebody that has a pedigree in football just from his entire family, the lineage that he has. I think he deserves to say what he wants to say. And there's proof to back up that maybe Baker Mayfield is overrated. He's 1-8 now versus teams over 500. He cannot beat good teams.
And he currently leads. Let me see if I get this right. He leads the league in escaping the pocket unnecessarily.
That's a stat.
Happy feet. Yeah. I think PFF put it out.
How is that a stat?
Hey, there's some great stats out there that you wouldn't know about. Did you know that Cam Newton leads the league in completely uncatchable passes?
That is so made up. That is the most made up shit. How do you know that, though? Like, how do you track
I don't know. But apparently he throws 34% of his passes are completely uncatchable.
I don't necessarily have the rubric for it, but God damn. Companies like Pro Football Focus, they have algorithms that they're putting together, and they have
whether they're worth a damn
that they're looking at, and a lot of people don't swear by it, and I'll use it to look at to gauge things.
It's more facetiously than anything.
Yeah, but it's cool to look at analytics that way. It's cool that we're growing in that way, like baseball, like basketball. Football's finally it's behind the curve in that, and that they're using analytical stats to kind of now drive decision making to run a lot more of the jet sweep stuff, the read option stuff, the RPO stuff. So it's trending that way, which is good.
So are you still on the Baker Mayfield trade then? Are you a big Baker Mayfield guy?
I'm not saying that I am or I'm not. I'm just saying the wrong person said it. Like if Tony Dungy said it, I'm like, okay, cool.
I mean, some people will call Tony Dungy overrated.
He won a Super Bowl. Rex Ryan didn't win shit.
It took him a long fucking time to win one.
I mean, but he built a Bucks.
Tony Dungy's biggest knock his entire career until that Super Bowl was that he could never win the big game.
But if you really want to give John Gruden credit for winning a Super Bowl, who built that Tampa Bay Bucks team?
I mean, it was Tony Dungy.
So I agree. And he's a Hall of Famer. Rex Ryan's not the Hall of Fame of shit but toe sucking.
And Rex Ryan did win a Super Bowl.
Oh, as a Ravens coordinator. Yeah. But he's a defensive coordinator. He's like a linebacker coach.
It's still a ring.
D-line. He's still got a ring, though.
He still coached somebody on one of the greatest defenses of all time.
He's a Super Bowl coach.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but he talked shit as a head coach. He didn't talk shit as an assistant coach.
He's talking shit as an analyst. He's not a head coach anymore.
But I'm saying, when he talked shit to win a Super Bowl, he didn't do that as an assistant coach. He did it as a head coach. And every year, he swore to God he was better than Belichick, and Belichick used to wax his ass.
That's egregious, but... Like I said, you always are going to say that you're better than your competition. That's just the natural way of a competitor.
And he said, "Quote me: If I don't beat Belichick such and such, I'll quit." He never quit. He was still there, and he never beat Belichick. So it's like, can you really call me overrated? That's what I'm defending.
But let me ask you this way: who has beat Belichick? They've been to 9 Super Bowls.
Coughlin used to wax Belichick's ass.
I mean, if we really want to get into the nitty gritty of how the Giants won 2 Super Bowls versus Patriots.
I absolutely hate that the Giants' entire franchise is legitimized over those two Super
Two
Bowls.
play, not even two.
It
Two
drives
plays.
me nuts.
They had the formula to beat them. Okay,
They do.
So-
moving into somebody who is not overrated and does have the ability to talk about whatever they really want.
And
to
I
talk
would say
about.
change things for week 3 because I saw a lot less penalties on Sunday. Tom Brady came out Thursday Night Football.
He was hot. He shut the game off.
He said, "Fuck this game." He said, "This NFL, the referees need to get it together because these
suck.
penalties are getting ridiculous."
Yep,
And
they suck.
I don't know what the statistics are. I would like to see what the how many total penalties there were from week 2 to week 3 on Sunday at least. But from me watching the games, it certainly seemed like there was less.
You know what the most foolish shit thing about these things are? When they have the referees explain it to you, and then like half the things that they explain never come to fruition.
You're talking about the
guy-
referee analyst,
The
that
guy
comes
in the skybox.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
this is a
Gene
holding penalty.
Steratore
This is a
and
holding penalty because such and
Blandino.
such and
Mike
such.
Pereira, yeah.
If I was on the field, I'd call this, and they
Pereira.
call the very opposite. I'm like, bro, really? You don't even know the rule. So why are you on here teaching me the rule when you don't know the rule? Like,
I think there needs to be more clarity, and it's so hard because
It's
it's such
so
a bang
stupid.
bang sport. But
Yeah.
there needs to be more clarity.
there
in
has
how
to
these
be
rules are-
visual evidence, and there's visual evidence that dude got hammered, and they're like, they're not going to call it.
I saw an egregious one. It was in a college game on Saturday. Can't remember what game it was. The guy ran a pick play at 1 yard off the line of scrimmage, and they threw it to the wideout running the swing, and he ran for a touchdown. And they, were reviewing to see if it was a penalty, whatever. They were talking about it. And he's like, "Oh, well, he ran the pick play within 1 yard, so that's legal content." I said, "No, motherfucker, no, it's not. You can't. Yeah, you're right. If there's incidental contact
Right.
within a yard, then that's overlooked. There's no call. But you can't run out there, take the cornerback off the guy that he's covering, forcefully blocking him before that ball is released.
Yeah,
you can't
can
do
if
that.
you run a screen. Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Why not?
You can. I would do that every play.
Yeah.
You can't take your number one receiver and have him come out and block this guy before this guy even has the ball.
There's a way you rub. Like, you have to, like, run in his path and then kind of get in his way, but you can't just sit there and pick him.
you
like
can't. Yeah, you
basketball.
can't pick people. You can't
basketball,
block people before the ball gets
That's
there.
yeah, that's off the pass
Especially as a
defense.
receiver.
Yeah, that's definitely off the pass
Totally
defense.
legal. Now, the incidental contact within a yard is a rule, but you can't forcefully block somebody. He took him out of the play so
Yeah.
badly that it opened up the entire right side of the field, and there was nothing but room to run.
Right,
People would do that all the time if it was legal.
right. No, that is
They
true.
should make it legal, and people should just run.
What about-
run
no,
through,
what-
run
what-
through the screens more?
What about week 2 with the Saints, where dude threw the ball and he caught it, and they said it wasn't a fumble, and he like tried to run for a touchdown?
Oh, the 75-yard
Yeah, the 70
fumble recovery that got called back.
There's clear evidence that it's not, bruh. Really?
They just need to be better at
That's what I'm saying. They
swallowing
just
their
don't-
whistles.
Yeah,
they don't
that's really what it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's
But hopefully it keeps getting better.
right.
It generally does.
When Tom Brady says something, people usually
People
listen.
listen, yeah.
And usually, and historically, on average, there's more penalties for the first couple of weeks of the NFL season, and then as the season progresses, the penalties start to diminish. It is what it is. And then by the playoffs, they don't even call blatant PIs, and the Rams go to the Super Bowl.
Right.
That's how we get there.
It was a fix.
So we did talk about, you did bring it up, coaches on the hot seat. Who we think in the NFL right now has got to worry about having their job taken from them either midseason or by the end of the year? We said Mike Tomlin. Let's hit Mike Tomlin first. Does anybody think that Mike Tomlin's actually on the hot seat?
I don't.
I do.
I don't.
I do.
Or why do you?
Essentially because he's the next person to get rid of. Ben's hurt, AB's gone, and Le'Veon Bell's gone. And with those three, they relatively haven't done anything.
All right, so now you're gonna fault Mike Tomlin for the.
I'm not faulting him for
that's
that.
what I'm saying. I don't. That's why I don't think he's on the hot seat because
Right.
these are all decisions that were made not necessarily all in his control.
Right.
And now you can't blame him for the decisions that the front office and the brass makes.
Right.
It's not on him. It's not Mike Tomlin's job to go out there and coach.
Right.
And last time I checked, he's not the GM and he's not the one making
And
the decisions on whether or not to pay Le'Veon Bell or not.
The decisions, as far as the Steelers are concerned, they hardly ever fire coaches. Like I think
That's what I'm saying. They haven't had many coaches
But
like the
in
last
this
6
situation-
So he's the next hire after
He was the next hire after Coward.
after Bill Cowher?
Yeah. It was like,
That's
and then Nolan
for that reason alone.
That's why he's not going anywhere.
Nah. But see, the reason why I kind of disagree with that is because I feel like they might feel like they need to change of voice. Just
Why
because.
would they? They've been so successful since
Have
Tomlin
they
got
though?
there.
When's the last time they've been in the playoffs? Like 3 years ago, 2 years ago?
I mean, Jesus Christ, we want to get rid of a guy that's won 2 Super Bowls in the last 15
I'm
years?
not saying that I
because
do, but I'm saying
they missed the
that
Super Bowl or they
would-
missed the playoffs a couple years in a
could.
row.
When fans start chirping, then you never know.
No way. They only missed the playoffs last year because Antonio Brown pulled a super dick move, and I know we said we're going to talk about him, but it is what it is. He missed Week 17. That was a
Right.
playoff implicated game. Like, there's no way that they get rid of Tomlin. He's had a history of success there. He is respected in the community. He's respected in the city. He's respected on the team.
And with
he's got a culture.
With the Minkin
no
trade and Ben going down, they're already in a rebuild, and it's already just accepted.
There's no way.
His leash got extended.
In an
rather
era
than,
though
rather
where
than shortened,
they
to
want
me.
young offensive coaches, do you think that they would want a younger offensive coach for just to expand their offense?
I think he needs to have 3 or 4 more losing seasons before he's even mentioned in
right.
the
And
coach's
I
hot
think
seat.
what would help in the situation, I hate to say this, but their receiver coach passed away. So the way that they're rallying together around him, it's a good thing. But essentially, I think that the Steelers organization would want a newer voice in there. I'm not saying they should fire him, but I wouldn't be shocked if I wake up on Black Monday and he's fired. I wouldn't be shocked.
I don't see that happening, but that's my opinion.
What do you guys think about Jay Gruden?
He's gone.
Gone.
I would agree with that.
I think he's gone.
He's gone.
I think he's gone before Black Monday. I think he's probably gone here soon.
And you know where we're going to see him? In Vegas, because Gruden will hire him. His brother will hire him.
It should be like the quality control.
that'd be a
assistant or
good
something
fit.
like that.
His
I don't
brother
think
will hire
Gruden's a
him.
bad coach. I think
Yeah.
he's got a terrible front
That's
office.
the same. That's the
his
same
front
thing.
office is a
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
All right, so I've got a bold one, a
Ooh,
bold
all right,
coach hot
I
seat.
love bold.
Jason Garrett is on the hot seat.
No shot.
Yes.
Nah.
If
No
they
way.
if they don't make it to the NFC Championship game,
But you know
he
what?
is going
The next-
to be gone.
The next Cowboys coach is going to be Kellen Moore, though. At some point, I think Kellen Moore will be.
That's an incredibly quick
he's being
reaction to the first 3 weeks and then playing nobody.
He's being groomed, though. I think that he is. He's going to be the heir apparent. He's going to be
Yeah,
groomed.
I'd like to see Lincoln Riley take that job.
Ooh.
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 You know what?
Now there's a bold prediction.
Here's my next one. No. Here's my bold prediction. Frederick Kitchens, and I think Lincoln Riley for Freddie Kitchens.
Are you thinking Lincoln Riley's going to go to Cleveland?
Yes.
Reunite with Baker.
Yes.
See, they
that's
already
mine.
brought in the West Coast guy to try to like revamp that offense, and they just haven't.
Because I
hasn't
thought
worked.
Kitchens was a quick hire, in my opinion. I don't know why he's
Well,
just
he's the
Riley
guy
hired.
that he's the guy that made Baker last year.
Eh.
That's the guy.
He just opened up the playbook a little bit more. But nah, he's not a good coach. I don't think he's a good coach. I think he's in way over his head. And I think the offensive line also is trash, so you can't really blame him for that. But I
You
think
got to give the guy a benefit of the doubt to some extent. I mean, it is the Browns we're talking about.
right.
And Browns are going to
So
do Brown things.
let me
They
ask you guys
always do.
something else. You think
Yeah.
Harbaugh from Michigan? You think he's going to coach the NFL?
That was my bold prediction from
he'd be gone,
a couple
right?
weeks ago. I said, no, I don't think I'm going to be correct in saying it was an extremely bold prediction that they'd be 3-3 by week 6 and Harbaugh would be fired. I do think that legitimately that was like a fun comedy, let's make a joke type bold
Right.
prediction that maybe become true. I legitimately think Harbaugh's on the hot seat. I
Now
legitimately
I
think that's
he
happening.
has to be now.
I think he's on a hot seat, but do you think an NFL team would hire him?
Oh, 100%. I think if he leaves, he might not even get fired. He might actually just go from Michigan to an NFL job next year.
That's why I'm asking. Like, do you think he would just next step would just be NFL?
I think he goes back.
'Cause he
I
hasn't
think he's
really
back in the
proven-
NFL if he doesn't get
Yeah.
fired within the next 2
It's
years.
tough, man. We've talked about it before. He wears on people,
Right.
and he's kind of an egotistical maniac, and he likes to be in control and have power, and he has much more of that on the college scene than he
Right.
does at the NFL level.
And it hasn't worked out well for him.
No,
I mean, I would say that
I don't know that he's going to go back to the NFL because of those things.
I think that
It might
somebody
be
would give him a
dip-
job.
Yeah, but pretty much every college under the top 20 are all going to go calling for him. That's a situation.
that
where,
is-
you
that
know,
is
That is
true.
very
I'm saying
true.
If they start throwing more
going to-
money at
there's
him.
going to be suitors for him at the college level for sure.
Now that I am glad you brought that up because I did want to say this on air today, and I almost forgot that I seen it. Urban Meyer confirmed today that he
Yeah.
will not be taking the Michigan job if it ever becomes available, which to me screams Urban Meyer's gonna be the next coach of Michigan, which I would love.
USC.
Why would he go to Michigan? That's literally like
The rival school
leaving the Bears and going to coach
Urban
for the,
Meyer,
coach
the
for
Packers.
the Packers. Like
Urban Meyer, USC.
Yeah, that's more likely.
Bank
than-
that shit.
I would
Especially-
I would just love to
especially,
see him
like,
go to
it was
Michigan. It's a
just
great
reported-
narrative.
It was just reported today that it's not happening, and you're like, nope.
When they
that
say
just-
things aren't happening, that means
that
they're
tells me
happening.
it's
happening.
happening.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Notre Dame.
Huh?
He said he's the greatest Ohio State coach, and he went to Notre Dame. He's not coaching at Michigan.
Yeah.
I would
There's
love
no-
to see it.
No way. No chance.
Wins them at Ohio State, and then he goes. I would think he'd do it just to show up Harbaugh, just so he can like. I went to Michigan. I want to ship. Fuck you,
How
Harbaugh.
long would it take him to win at Michigan?
4 years.
JD says tomorrow. Yesterday.
He's winning this
yesterday.
year if they don't lose to Wisconsin.
Just get a quarterback. Honestly, that's it.
They thought they were
keep
getting one with
trying.
Shea Patterson, and that
keep
didn't work
trying.
out well.
Yeah, just get a quarterback because he just can't find a quarterback. Like,
But I would love to see
What's his?
Meyer and USC. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I would enjoy that. But any other coaches NFL wise that might be on the hot seat?
I give you one from the Titans.
Oh,
Mike Vrabel?
Vrabel. I didn't think he was a good hire in the first place. I think they should get more of an offensive oriented coach.
Yeah, I think Vrabel needs to be
Yeah.
a DC somewhere rather
Yeah, he's
than
not
being a head coach.
But he's one of those players.
Bill O'Brien's
player guys.
another one that's on the hot seat to me.
I don't know if Bill O'Brien's on the hot seat.
They're gonna have to lose.
Yeah.
They have to lose, but he's only going to the first round. He's out every year. That's his.
All right, so Dan
They have no
Quinn, Ron Rivera,
Ooh.
both those guys are for sure on the hot seat.
Dan Quinn.
I
for
think
sure.
Dan Quinn's out.
Dan
I don't
Quinn
know
is
if
out.
Ron Rivera is.
They'll give
Just
him the
because
benefit
I
of the
think
doubt
Ron
with
Rivera
Cam
with
going
Cam.
down.
Exactly. Dan Quinn.
They do have a new general manager though.
So you
And-
might want to reshape his.
And normally when you have a new general manager,
they want to bring in
to-
their own guys.
So that's why I would say Ron Rivera, but I don't think so.
I mean, Ron Rivera's done great things for that team. I do think that the Cam thing does hurt them. I think,
Yeah.
that's something that they got to deal with realistically. And I think they should keep Ron. Like I said, Dan Quinn, though,
Dan Quinn's gone.
I think Dan Quinn's got to go.
Yeah, he's gone.
He really hasn't turned out to be as good of a coach as you thought he was going to be. Yes, he went to
I'll
a
go
Super
one
Bowl.
Further, they need to just. You can talk about teams needing to rebuild. That
Atlanta?
Falcons, they're
They remember how I don't remember. They don't have an identity
never
either.
get over the never get over the hump. They have a lot of like superstar pieces, but like it's just you can't. I don't see them winning.
Well, you thought Dan Quinn would come in
They're not
with
gonna
Matt
bounce-
Ryan and
bounce
Julio
back.
Jones.
And like boom, offense is done. Now
yeah,
let's handle
and
the defense.
It's like boom, we got Dan Quinn,
Still can't stop anybody.
defensive coordinator from Seattle, won a Super Bowl with Seattle, had one of the greatest defenses of all time with Seattle. Atlanta's defense has been trash.
This gives me
since
an
he's been
idea.
there.
Do you think that their Super Bowl run was more Kyle Shanahan or Quinn?
That's exactly what
It's
where I
more
was just
Kyle
going.
Shanahan?
Well,
I
yeah.
think it's Quinn, but I'm not. When I say that, I'm not taking anything away from Shanahan either. But that defense was
Was pretty good. And right
that
now,
defense is what got him.
and
there.
I think what's really going to get him fired this year is he's a defensive coordinator too. So and their defense is trash,
awful.
trash. And Keanu O'Neal going out doesn't help anything.
no,
but
and
he's
that guy needs to retire. That's his
yeah,
second Achilles.
That's his second Achilles, and he's but yeah,
Hurts.
his defense is trash. So
Any other coaches on the hot seat? Like, that's a lot. Like there's a
There's
lot
of
of
coaches on the
that
hot
could
seat
be-
right now.
that could not have jobs here.
Jets.
I don't know. Do you think they get rid of Adam Gase
I don't
in
think
his
they're
first
gonna-
year?
I don't think Gase was
Nah.
on the list.
You'd
I
have
was
to.
looking
You'd have
at.
to look at Flores too. Then, if you're basing it off of that,
Kind of screwed up. It's kind of screwed up if you fire Flores or Gase. This
I don't
year.
like people firing coaches after 1 year. I mean, what do you expect the guy to do? Come in and win you a Super
Yeah.
Bowl? Like, give the guy a chance.
The
You
Cardinals-
guys are the Jets and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just
When's the last time you were even relevant?
enjoy the cellar.
But I mean, if you're tanking for Tua, you want a superstar coach, and there's nothing superstar about Flores. So
What
don't know.
makes you say that? He was a superstar coordinator.
Yeah.
when's the last time a Bill Belichick coordinator actually won something though?
I mean, the
That's-
Lions are undefeated this year.
They're too busy losing the Bills.
Pretty much. Yeah, they go to the same division that Bill's in because they all want to beat the successor,
Yep,
and they don't.
It's tough.
Did Mangini got at least one, right?
he got one on him, but
Yeah.
then he was the one that snitched on the Spygate.
Yeah, that was a bitch
He was
move.
a whistleblower for that. So
It was a bitch move.
yeah,
But I can't see them firing. I think Gase, if the Jets were to somehow, but they're not going to take Tua. They got Sam Darnold there.
who gave him mono?
I don't want to know.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's tough.
What are we looking ahead to in week 4?
Oh, week 4. Let's see. We got Tennessee at Atlanta, Cleveland at Baltimore. So Cleveland at Baltimore is going to be interesting. Let's see if Baker Mayfield could win versus a good team.
My guess
I
is
don't
that
think
he
it's
won't.
going to happen.
That might be my pick of the week. That might be my last man standing pick.
You going to go Ravens?
Maybe.
I went with the team that I know is going to screw me this week, the San Diego Superchargers.
You picked them this week?
I did. It's a fucking mistake. I know it.
You're crazy, bro.
I know that.
Wow.
I figure if I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose stupidly.
Like take the Chargers on the road in the 10 a.m. slot against the Dolphins, who Josh Rosen just started. Like this screams.
This screams Chargers blow this
yeah,
game.
this screams
Yeah.
Dolphins upset is what it does.
But my problem is that there's no other.
they're plus 15.5.
Here's who the
Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Oh my god,
Here's my thinking with it. The Chargers are going to play nobody else this year where I trust them to beat them. And I would like to use a team this week where I could just like maybe sneak by and get them out of the way. And I'm going to be sitting there Sunday morning like this was a fucking mistake because it's going to be like 7-7 and then going into the second quarter.
And then Phillip Rivers going to throw a pick.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers is going to fumble the ball. It's going to be awful. I'm not looking forward to it, but yes, I did take them. I would be interested in watching the Pats-Bills game in Buffalo. It's always
2 undefeated teams.
yeah.
That's a coaching staff that's underrated. Is
McDermott's.
Yeah, really.
I think the Bills, they're another team that hasn't played anybody yet, so I'm interested to see what they do versus a good team like the Patriots. But the Patriots historically don't always play that great when they go into Buffalo.
See,
It's a tough place to
what
play.
I've noticed with
Yes.
Buffalo, they either start late or finish late. So last week
they've been finishing late.
Last week they finished late. Week 1 they finished early. Well, they fell down 18-0, 16-0 and made a 18-point comeback
against the Jets.
right?
Yeah.
And then last week they let the Bengals come back. So you're not going to do that against the Patriots. Off top, you're just not.
Yeah.
So
we watched the Redskins get torched the last couple weeks.
They've had a rough schedule so far.
Really, really excited to watch Daniel Jones rip them to shreds with nobody at receiver
I wanted to take the
no
Giants.
Saquon either.
and no Saquon. And Daniel Jones is going to go out there and just make them look stupid. The Redskins.
I think that's the trash game of the week. If I had to say, like, what's the best game you could watch? It's
That's
probably
the one.
Redskins.
You know
Giants.
that's going to be a
That definitely will be.
bloodbath.
It's a division rivalry game. It's in New York, so the fans are going to be hounding Washington.
Yep, and Daniel Jones is. And
Daniel
everyone's
Jones
hyped up
quarterback.
Danny Dimes.
I have a prediction. This
Okay.
is the week we see Dwayne Haskins.
It's possible.
I could see that. I thought they were actually going to bring him in during the Bears
I did
game
too, but this is Dwayne Haskins.
because the camera started cutting to him. I'm like, please, God, don't.
You're not going to
don't put this kid out there versus this defense.
That's putting a lamb to slaughter, bro.
Yeah, don't do
You're
that.
not going to do that. This will be the week because you're going to see how the two rookies play against each other. This is going to be the week.
I think it makes the most sense from a marketability
It makes the most.
stance.
It's gonna happen. That's my prediction.
So this week, our fucking producer doesn't want to just speak out loud. He just likes sending passive aggressive texts. I just got a text saying 30-3 Tom Brady Patriots. Where's the struggle? Well, we'll see what happens, bro.
The wind could be ripping. Hey, it's Buffalo. It might snow this weekend.
One
Who
of my
knows?
favorite movies. You might have seen it any given Sunday. Okay.
Do you want me to do the entire Al Pacino speech on air? Because I'll do it.
Struggles in Buffalo, and I want to know what the evidence is
Because in either game,
for the struggle.
life or football, the margin for error is so small.
That's impressive.
Thank you. I could do that whole fucking speech.
And I think that the marquee matchup of the week is obviously the Cowboys and Saints.
Cowboys Saints is a great game. And that's why it's a Sunday night game. Obviously, a lot of people are going to watch
Right.
it.
It's kind of. I wish Breeze was playing so we
Oh,
could
I know.
actually see.
I know.
This is like Dallas should handle this team too. We talk about that they're supposed to beat the teams they're supposed to beat.
Right. They beat them last year, right?
Yeah, they did beat them last year.
Yeah.
And actually, I think in Last Man, I had the Saints.
Did you?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I picked against my team. I was like, they're going to fucking blow this.
I would say that's a perfect primetime game. Really interested to see with the Dallas going into New Orleans as well. That would be if Dak throws for 3 touchdowns and 250 yards, 300 yards.
You on board finally?
That's
that
when I'll
man.
come in and say
He's going to be
Pay
on
that
board.
man.
He-
I will
that
come
man.
in and say that. Hey, respect, dude. That was a great game. I'll give it to him.
He's right there, dude. He's come so far in these 3 weeks. Again, granted.
Granted, versus the
Level of
competition.
competition.
That's why I'm saying I'm
But
waiting
he's
for this
done
game.
I keep stressing it. He's done every single thing and more than has been expected of him in the games against these teams that are not.
How's
good.
his third down percentage and goal line percentage? Because they were ass last year. What about this year? I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
what I'm asking.
I haven't looked at those numbers
'Cause he
recently, but
was
I know that
ass on third and-
they haven't been really stopped. They haven't truly been
Oh,
stopped.
okay.
They've been
No,
moving
they've
the ball
been
up and down the
dominant.
field.
'Cause
They got a
that's
lot of
gonna be-
weapons, man.
running all over the ball
Because
like plays.
to me, that's the money downs as a quarterback, and I
Yeah.
don't feel like he earned it just off the. He doesn't do well on money downs.
Yeah. There's something to be said for that. We still have a very small sample size this
Yeah,
year.
okay, so
Real
d-
small sample
That's
size.
why it's
this
going to be
year.
a really good game. Fun to
Yeah,
watch.
this is the game that, like, is he going to retract into a shell or is he going to actually.
blossom into something beautiful.
Right.
Is this going to be, like, the one that puts him on the forefront of the entire NFL?
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Which is scary because it's Dak Prescott.
Yeah, right.
I have not been a fan of Dak the last 3 years.
He hasn't.
Just in case you
Yeah,
didn't
he
pick
hasn't.
up on that. Like,
Okay.
I'm being a Cowboys fan. I'm like been hypercritical of him.
Right.
And a lot of not the decision maker. I think he's a good decision maker, but and a gamer. But just his ability to throw the ball. I thought that he really struggled.
I think he stares down receivers too much.
and he really struggles to let it rip. Also,
Yeah.
and but this year so far it's been different. Level of comp.
And
We always-
that's where I go.
we
I go
always come
level
back
of
to
comp.
it, I know.
And that's what I said. He's been thrown to a lot of wide open receivers.
Right.
You look at the statistics. Trubisky played the Redskins, did the exact same game as Prescott did. You know?
Cowboys are the number 1 third down team in football right now.
Are they really?
The Cowboys
Okay,
are
well,
number,
that's
number one third down team. in
Is
football.
there an average down and distance or
No,
average
they
distance on third
converted-
down?
They converted 59%.
Because they were
That's
like
great.
They were 28th last year. I
That's
believe.
phenomenal.
Yeah, like that's up last
Yeah.
year from 34%.
Yeah, because they were
Dude,
trash
converting
last
59% of
year.
your third downs, that's phenomenal.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
but then competition too. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And that's why this game is going to be great.
Right.
Two other games I think
They
are going to
should
be,
still walk over them. I think that they should still walk over them.
with no Breeze in, I think you're right. I think the defense should be able to shut down New Orleans, and I think Dallas should be able to win this game fairly handedly.
This
But
is going to be Zeke's.
they are going into New
Be
Orleans.
Zeke's breakout game. He's going to go for 200.
Ooh, I mean, he's been playing well already, but breakout for 200.
He's been average. So.
Two other games that I think would be fun to watch. I think KC, Detroit.
It's in Detroit, right?
It's in Detroit. I think that's going to show a lot about how good Detroit really is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have two, pretty good wins so far this season over the Chargers and over the Eagles.
Do you buy Detroit? You buy the Lions?
Not yet.
Not yet at all. No.
I mean, Kerryon Johnson's averaging about 2.7 yards a carry right
And you
now.
can't tie the Cardinals, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can't tie them.
So we'll see. I think it's a big game. We'll see what they can do versus a good team like the Chiefs. And then another big divisional battle is, this is trying not to be a homer, but Minnesota versus Chicago is a big game for the NFC North.
Definitely is.
It is really.
The NFC North is, in my opinion, the toughest division in football. It's 3-0, 2-0 and 1, 2-1 and 2-1 right now.
And Kirk Cousins can't play scared, bro. Because I'll give you no brownie points for playing the Raiders. I really don't. I'm sorry, but
No, but the thing that the Vikings have been great at this year is Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook
fucking
is
missile
phenomenal
coming out of the backfield.
And they got Alexander Madison that backup.
I drafted Alex and
He's really-
Madison, and I've been
He's
very
nice,
happy
bro.
with him.
He's really good.
I want to see Cook make it through this whole year.
I do
Yeah,
too.
same.
I do
I
too.
never ever want to see a guy get hurt.
No.
And I'm always like real cautious with the guys that have
Right,
injury
yeah.
tag, injury prone tag, and I hope that he makes it through.
I do too. Yeah,
But Madison
through
has
the year,
looked good in
'cause
his
he's
limited
But
exciting,
Madison is
exciting
phenomenal.
running
He's another
back.
explosive guy, though.
But
man.
my God, dude, Cook is so fast between
He's
the
so
tackles.
fast.
So fast.
He gave the Raiders defender like a little juke cut
Mm-hmm.
in the middle, and then his feet are shifty as hell.
I mean,
like-
Kirk Cousins has been one of the statistically worst quarterbacks so far this year.
and that shocks me, bro, because I liked him in Washington. I was a Kirk Cousins fan. I really was.
Dude can't play in the spotlight.
But he's just Case Keenum looked better than him in the Vikings purple, and it was crazy.
So those would be I would say those are some pretty big matchups for week 4. As we like to do, we have our pick of the week. So if our fans make it this far in the episode, we like to help them win some money. If they've been following us, I think they've been doing pretty well. I'm 3-0,
I'm 2-1.
and he's 2-1, so we're
Okay.
doing pretty well. Who do you got?
So Broncos are 3-point favorites at home. I'm going to go with my guy Uncle Rico +3. in Jaguars.
Ooh,
The Broncos, I said it last week. I said they have been criminally overrated over the last 10 years. Recently, and ever since the post-Manning window, they still have the lure of being the Broncos.
and I'll go ahead.
They've been
finish.
mediocre.
And I disagree with that wholeheartedly. And after watching the Packers,
Well,
Broncos
they're
game
0-3
last week,
this year, so how good are they?
I mean, if they fucking clean it up, they gave the Packers the ball twice in the red zone, which allowed them to score. The Broncos could have very easily beaten the Packers in Green Bay. I think Fangio's gotten better every week with this team, and I think that's going to be a tough game in Denver.
You know what shocks me though? That the Broncos have 0 sacks this season.
That is shocking.
With
that is
Fangio, like
unacceptable.
that is unacceptable.
With Chubb and with Von Miller.
But
Yeah,
here's the
it's crazy.
thing.
They should be getting to the quarterback.
Here's the thing.
And Derek
Fangio.
Wolfe.
Go ahead.
And with Derek Wolfe. That's what
And
I'm
with Derek Wolfe.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Fangio, though, and I know a 49ers person could attest to this. He, out of all defensive coordinators, at least, as that's what he was up until this year, out of all defensive coordinators in the league for the last however so many years that he's been a defensive coordinator, ran the least amount of blitzes out of any defensive coordinator. He only blitzes like 20-something% of the time. He rushes 4, and the reason he wins games is because he disguises his coverage is amazing, like ways that quarterbacks have never seen before, and he gets pressure with 4 guys. That's what makes it. So whether that's his defensive coaching style, and for some reason Chubb and Wolf and Von Miller aren't getting to the quarterback, or they're just trying to attack their defense by little short, dink and dunks, I don't know. but I think that he's been getting better every week.
Well, week 1, because they played the Raiders were going vertical on them, and they haven't gone vertical on anybody.
Well, they were attacking that Yahir guy. Or whatever his name was, and he looked terrible.
They weren't getting to Carr at all. And us three can get to Carr because Raiders' offense line wasn't that great.
I had the fucking over 5 sacks in that game.
So yeah,
I haven't practiced my rip move in a while.
And then week 2, who did they play week 2?
That was the Bears.
The Bears, right? They didn't get to Trubisky at all. And the Redskins got to Trubisky a couple of times, you know?
They sacked him
a couple of times. So yeah, I don't know. They just aren't getting to the quarterback for some reason. I don't have an explanation. Packers is a little bit tougher to get to Rodgers. It's a little bit tougher unless you're.
Well, they're running the ball too.
And they're
making it so much harder to.
Yeah, but
Aaron Rodgers has actually kind of stepped back and like given some of the reins back, and
Yes.
it's like letting the entire team be a
just
team
flow.
for once. Yeah,
there's a flow.
And I don't even know
he's
if I
a
would
changed man this year a little bit.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
I mean, but I still think that there's some turmoil there. I don't know if that's a happy relationship. Hopefully it's not.
Winning fixes a lot of things.
So who do you got?
I have, let me just double check the line. Houston minus 4.5.
You son of a bitch.
Is that your line too?
Yeah, it was.
That's yours?
Yeah. I'll you take it because I took the Alabama one, week 1.
We're supposed to talk about these things
We
before,
should,
but we didn't.
I like it better on air. It's more natural. But now I got to fucking go back and find another great line that's totally going to hit this weekend.
You can take Houston too, bro. I don't care.
I mean, I'm going to take Houston on my ticket, but I got to have something different for the fans, man.
Yeah, while you're doing that, Houston, Carolina. Carolina's going into Houston. We know the issues that's going on with Carolina.
Right, yeah.
They don't have Cam Newton, so Kyle Allen did show well last week. Personally, for me, that's fool's gold.
But I mean, he played well last year when he came in.
He was.
There's a little kid from that commercial.
He did some things.
You know, talking about taking his job.
He was okay last year.
Yeah, I mean,
this is a playoff team that they're going into Houston to have to play.
I agree.
Deshaun Watson is he's
amazing.
He's a superstar.
He's amazing,
and he beats you in multiple different ways. There's you have to actually defend him, and they're going to be able to cover.
Panthers got guys though to where they can get after the quarterback because even though the Texans still win, Deshaun Watson's getting sacked an awful lot still.
He is getting hit a lot, and I worry about the longevity of his
and
career if they don't.
Luke
clean him
Kuechly
up.
currently leads the NFL in tackles with.
That's no surprise.
A bunch of fucking tackles. So I could see a lot of middle linebacker blitzes and a lot of different schemes to where you're going to make him throw off his back foot a lot. So, I mean, that would be my argument in anything else. But I do think Houston will beat them.
Kyle Allen, 3 picks, fool's gold.
That's very possible.
That's why I'm taking Houston. That's what.
So, I sit here. I look at my phone with my perfect record on the line.
Sharing the same thoughts about Houston.
Yeah, sharing the same thoughts as my co-host about how the Houston Texans should be able to dismantle the Panthers with Kyle Allen starting a quarterback. And I see 2 lines that jump off to me where I'm just like, that seems like a good line. I would like to take that at some point Sunday. One of them, and I'm gonna pick one, but I'm gonna say both on live. I think the 47.5 in that Cardinals-Seahawks game is a little low. I think the over should hit easy in that game. But I'm not going to take that one. I just like it. I'm going to go against everything I completely said like 10 minutes ago, and I'm going to take the New England Patriots -7.
It's kind of easy, man.
That's easy.
I think what is the record if you take the spread for Tom Brady his entire career? Wouldn't you be up like 100 units or something?
Dude, I lost my. I threw in a fuck around 3-teamer on Sunday, and it was the one I had the Cowboys -22.5 on because I had the Patriots -21. You know how the Patriots blew that cover? Jets backdoor cover on a muff punt, fumble, touchdown, and then a pick six because they brought in the backup quarterback.
Wasn't it Jamal Adams ran the shit back or something?
They blew the cover.
Yeah,
Stidham through the pick?
Yeah, Stidham through the pick.
Yep, he did. Damn Auburn quarterbacks.
All right, so we've got...
Uncle Rico all day.
Yeah, all right, so the Jaguars.
Yep.
We've got the Texans.
Dodgeball,
and we've got
story.
Pats -7.
The Patriots -7.
I go with the dodgeball underdog story.
Isn't that the line from the movie?
That's the name of
the movie. Dodgeball.
Dodgeball, a true underdog story.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's going to pretty much conclude NFL. You want to just touch on these other 2 things real quick?
Yeah, let's just hit them right quick.
So we'll go back up to Derek King, the quarterback for Houston, is redshirting. I don't know why.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
I read something about he's tanking. How do you tank in college football?
I don't know.
What I understand,
There's a rule that he
I know he was
found.
trying to transfer, but then he said he's not transferring.
you can if you play. If you've only played 4 games, you can redshirt, right?
Yeah.
I heard that he's redshirting to protect himself, and he's going into the draft.
Why?
Who is he going to get? Wins? I don't agree with that.
I
I
don't
mean,
agree with that
granted,
decision at all.
he looks like an all right quarterback.
That's what I read. That's what I read.
He's all right, but
I do not.
There's a lot of. We need to do that, Dan. In a week or two, we need to go through all the quarterbacks. There are a ton of college quarterbacks that are jumping off the page.
right.
A ton of them.
And so
I'm big on Jake Burrows now. That
love
kid
Jake
looks
Burrows.
amazing.
Yeah,
That's
I love,
my guy.
I love Burrows. Yeah.
I had.
But that's what I was going to say about the Steelers. That's why I was kind of like flabbergasted. Like, why would you trade that
You got
pick?
some guys coming out of the
Dude,
draft this year.
They're so good, bro. Like, so good.
You might be able to steal a quarterback in a later round, though.
Well, you've got to figure Tua, Herbert,
From?
Burrow, like that's 4 first-round
That's for,
quarterbacks.
Yes.
Ellerling from Texas.
Ellinger?
Ellinger from Texas.
Ellinger. And then,
I don't know if Ellinger's going round 1, though.
And can't he go back? Him and Eason can go back, I
Yes.
believe.
Yeah, Eason could go back. Yeah.
And what about the one from Arizona?
Tate.
Tate.
Yeah.
I think he's like a 5th rounder.
But he's not a first rounder. That's what I'm saying. But that's some possible talent.
He
later
reminds
in the
me
rounds.
of like a Jacoby Brissett type guy. I think that he's
Yeah,
a guy
I
that
can see
you could get, and he might be able to help you in a year or two.
Yeah.
Like actually be the quarterback.
It's possible. It's very possible. So the last thing we got to talk about that we'll hit real quick
Go ahead.
is Kansas basketball has been accused of 5 major rule violations.
Does that shock
Yeah.
anyone, though? It's college basketball.
No, because they all cheat.
How else
but
do they get people to Kansas to play hoops?
Yeah, does that shock anyone?
As someone that has lived in Kansas before, I can tell you it is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So there's a quote lack of institutional control, and the FBI is actually
If it wasn't
investigating
LSU,
into them.
if it wasn't LSU, it was Michigan State. If it wasn't Michigan State, it was Arizona. If it wasn't,
There's always
it's college basketball. Like,
you
does
ain't-
that
if
shock
you ain't
anyone?
cheating, you ain't
And
trying.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Everybody, even
But is this
even
the
my
end?
beloved Syracuse got in trouble for
You know who the
cheating.
logo of that would be? It'd probably be John Calipari. He would probably be the logo. He's like
Yeah,
Did
he's like the Jerry West of
has he been
of
caught?
scandals.
Has he been caught? Like officially caught? Did Calipari get sanctioned for anything?
I don't think so.
When he was at UMass, he quit UMass before.
Oh yeah, didn't he leave UMass because he knew it was coming?
He dined to ditch UMass and Memphis because he knew it was coming. So he knows when it's coming. He just ditches them and goes and get more money somewhere else.
So he's all right now.
He's cool. He's
still
straight
in Kentucky.
Yeah.
But yeah, is Kansas basketball going to be done? I mean, are they going to,
If Michigan State wasn't done, like, they're not going to be done.
When was the last time they won a national championship?
Kansas?
Yeah.
Did they win during the Embiid years?
No, they didn't win during the Embiid years. No, they didn't. They got knocked out because I think Embiid got hurt. I think.
Wiggins scored 4 points in that game.
Yeah, Wiggins. Yeah, I think it was when they played Memphis was the last time. When they beat Derrick Rose's
Derrick
team.
Rose was there?
It was Chalmers.
When Derrick Rose missed the free
Yeah,
throw.
it was Chalmers. I think that was the last time they actually won something.
Yeah.
You can't quote me on that though. I don't know.
No, yeah, you're good. I'm going to go ahead and say that, yeah, they're going to fall off the map. I mean, we'll see.
Is Bill Self going to get fired?
Possible.
It's probably going to have to happen.
I mean, 5 major rule violations. That's
It could be death penalty type
Yeah.
stuff.
all right. Well,
All right.
so we've reached the section of the show where we like to call out a person in the sports world who is has done something bad, whether that be jokingly, such
Or
as like Antonio Brown,
Or serious.
or something serious like we did last week
Antonio Brown.
with Antonio Brown.
So this is the Antonio Brown portion of the show.
Yeah, for the last like 3 weeks.
This is the first week it hasn't been in a long time.
But so today's biggest piece of shit of the week.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Is it Mark Rippon?
Yeah, Mark Rippon, Mark Ripon.
Ripon. I mean,
Mark
he doesn't even
Rippon.
deserve to have his name said the correct way because he's that big of a piece
You're a
of shit.
Mark Rippon.
I guess he was. Yeah, you're a Mark Ripon.
He was Mark ripping up his career.
Yeah, he was like punching his wife or something. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
We tend to frown on that in this society.
So, but no, check out the excuse. He was scared because they were driving and she like blinded his eye. So he swung on her ass and she got hit. So basically, he said he was trying to save their life because she covered his eye. I did hit her, but she blinded me. That was the story he told.
So maybe this entire thing is just shitty.
It's a shitty situation.
I sit here with like the dumbfounded face, like, How's that even a fucking excuse?
They're playing basically, he was driving. She peekabooed his ass, and he swung on her ass, thinking that because they got to an argument prior, but
they crashed too.
I don't know. Yeah. But that was.
I feel like if you start swinging and you're driving, it's
hold on. Can I just give a shout out to Angela Rippon real quick? I don't know if y'all know who Angela Rippon is, but
she got that booty cake.
She got the booty cake, bro. She got all the cakes.
I don't agree with that.
I'll call her
Michelle.
hostess.
She does not have the booty cakes. I promise.
I'll call her hostess. She
never seen a picture of her.
You need to. She was the Lingerie Football League quarterback too. I think she was MVP one year.
He's like, I'm good.
What? Jay, the mic headphones went out. Can't hear anything.
If you're married, I'm sorry, but don't look her up if you're married. But if you're not married, look up Angela Rippon. You won't be disappointed. I heard she's nice over there. See? Yes.
All right. Well, man.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, Tarrian, it's been
absolutely
a blast.
No problem, bro.
Man, so thank you for
coming on.
I will
come back, man.
We'd love to have you back, man.
Sure.
You did great. We had a blast. It was awesome talking to you. And
thought we covered a lot of good
knowledge,
info.
man.
Thank you.
Really good.
Hell yeah, dude. Having somebody on with just, a crap ton of sports knowledge that you could just bring up names and situations from yesteryear.
You were giving us stats.
Yeah, right. It was great.
That was awesome.
It helps the show just flow so seamlessly,
right.
And it gets us into a rhythm, and it's a lot of fun.
Yep.
So appreciate you coming out.
Of course,
guys. This has been the Grip It and Rip It Sports Podcast with Stock and Tops. Special guest was Tarrian Rodgers today. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure that you follow, subscribe. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple, Anchor.fm, and all the platforms that are included on Anchor.fm. So please go ahead and subscribe, follow, leave us your likes.
Download, comment, rate us.
Yeah, rate us. Give us 5 stars, maybe 4. Nothing below that.
We might come for you if
that
happens.
But you can leave us some criticisms. If you got any questions you'd like to ask. Did I say something stupid? Did Chris say something stupid? We know Tarrian didn't say anything stupid today. So please let us know, and we'll get back to you.
We're out.